The Guardian of Lyris. Twilight lingered on the planet Lyris in a way it did nowhere else. The sky did not darken quickly or fade without ceremony. Instead, it deepened into layers of lavender and indigo, streaked with broad rivers of nebula clouds glowing with soft inner light. Unfamiliar constellations glittered like fragments of memory, and drifting spores floated through the air like slow-moving lanterns. On the ground, life glowed back at the sky. Bioluminescent grasses shimmered with every movement of the wind, and plants of strange shapes swayed gently, their leaves casting halos of color over the land. And at the very heart of this luminous world stood the Luminara, a massive ancient tree whose roots wound across the earth like veins of living crystal. The roots pulsed in blues and purples, sending gentle light through the land. Everything seemed connected, as though the soil, the trees, the stars, and the soft wind all spoke the same quiet language. Beneath the Luminara stood Kalin. He was tall and lithe, his smooth blue skin catching and reflecting the glow of the grass around him. His eyes were large and full of calm curiosity, mirroring starlight. He spent most evenings beneath the Luminara, resting his palm against its broad trunk and listening to the faint hum that vibrated through its bark. The Lyrisians had always believed the Luminara held the memory of the world itself, and some, like Kalin, could feel it. "Hello," he whispered quietly, as he always did. The tree did not reply in words, it never had, but warmth spread through his hand and into his chest, as though the world breathed with him. Lyris had no war, no conquest, no hunger or domination. Its people were caretakers, listeners. They knew that everything living formed part of the same quiet song, and Kalin, who had always been able to sense that song a little more clearly than others, felt content in a way that never asked for more. But peace cannot stop what it does not expect. That twilight, the sky shifted. Kalin noticed it before anyone else, a hairline fracture of white light streaking across the indigo sky. Then another, and another still, not meteors. They burned too evenly, too steadily. Ships. Kalin's chest tightened. He ran toward the city, a graceful sprawl of crystal towers and glowing streets sculpted into the roots of the Luminara itself. The council hall shone bright, summoning its leaders. The elders floated slightly above the floor when they gathered, their bodies glowing faintly with shifting shades of blue and silver. "The outsiders have come in force," Elder Soria said. She spoke calmly, but the light beneath her skin flickered. "Their signal patterns indicate extraction. They seek the roots." No one spoke for a moment. No one needed to. The Luminara's roots were not wood. They were living crystal, holding the energy of the entire planet. A shard could power fleets. A root could change civilizations. Elder Thalan's voice was slow and grave. "If they sever the roots, the world will fade." Kalin swallowed and stepped forward before he quite knew he was moving. "There is still time," he said quietly. He wasn't used to addressing the elders. His voice almost trembled. "The roots are asking for a guardian." The room brightened in surprise. "You would stand between them and the heart of the world?" Soria asked. Kalin didn't look away. "Yes, Lyrisians rarely spoke of bravery. It was not a world that demanded it. But guardianship, the act of giving oneself to protect life, was sacred." The elders bowed their heads in silent assent, and so Kalin walked back into the twilight, alone. The Luminara loomed before him, massive and radiant. Spores drifted slowly, the roots, half buried, glowed with quiet anxiety. Kalin placed both hands against the trunk. The world opened inside him, memories poured through his mind, not his own, but the planet's. He saw the seedling sprout under young wild stars. He saw the first Lyrisians resting beneath its leaves. He saw laughter and peace and long ages of stillness. Then he saw what had not yet come. He saw drills plunging into the ground. He saw the roots cracking, dimming. He saw oceans turning silent and forests withering. And he saw himself, not fighting, but standing, connected to everything. The Luminara spoke without sound, a presence as deep as gravity. "Guardian," Kalin closed his eyes. "I'm afraid. You are not alone." Light ran from the tree into his hands, across his arms and into his chest, until he glowed like a star reflected in deep water. He became the Guardian of Lyris. The outsider ships landed beyond the glowing fields. They were made of metal like snowfall and shadow, sharp angles against the soft curve of the land. Soldiers in dark armor emerged, scanning terrain, measuring energy. Behind them walked Commander Rojan, poised, intelligent, carrying the exhaustion of responsibility in the lines around her eyes. "Mark the veins," she ordered. "Cut fast. We don't stay long." Their drills descended with cold mechanical certainty. Kalen walked alone toward them. His footsteps disturbed halos of light in the grass. The soldiers raised their weapons, not firing, simply wary. "Identify yourself," Rojan demanded. "I am Kalen of Lyris," he said. "This world is alive. I ask you to leave." Rojan studied him. Her gaze was analytical, sharp, but not cruel. "Your roots contain a renewable energy matrix beyond anything we've seen," she said. "Our colonies are failing. Our people are dying. If we return without this, entire worlds go dark." It was not greed she spoke from. It was desperation. Kalen felt his resolve waver, but not break. "There must be another way." "There isn't," she replied quietly, and she gave the order. The drills struck the soil. Light flared in agony underground. The roots dimmed. Kalen fell to his knees and pressed his hands into the earth. The Luminara poured strength into him. A shield blossomed out of the ground, a dome of living light. The drills shrieked against it and stopped. Rojan stared, stunned. "So, you defend it." "I protect life," Kalen said simply. "And I protect my people," she answered. They stood on opposite sides of the same truth. Yet instead of escalating, Rojan stepped forward, studying the light carefully. "What is this place really?" she asked. Kalen told her, about the world as a living being, about the roots as veins of memory and breath, about the song that connected everything that grew here. "And if we cut it out?" she asked. "The forests will fade," he said. "The seas will quiet. The sky will forget our name." Rojan was silent for a long time. Then she said softly, "And if we don't, my people will die." The wind sighed through glowing leaves. Kalen listened, not to Rojan, but to the Luminara. He saw barren colonies, failing reactors, children wrapped in blankets under flickering lights, worlds built on extraction that had finally run out of things to take. He opened his eyes. "Then let me help you." Rojan frowned. "Help us? How?" "I cannot let you take," he said, "but I can help you grow. The energy of Lyris renews itself only when it remains part of the living network. Let us show you how to weave your worlds into something that lives." Rojan hesitated, then she placed her hand in his. Light flowed. She saw memories, not just images but feelings, warmth, connection, the quiet joy of existing alongside life rather than consuming it. She saw that power and harmony did not have to oppose one another. And for the first time in many years, she felt hope not sharpened by fear, but softened by wonder. She gave the order. The drills withdrew. The soldiers lowered their weapons. For months, outsiders and Lyrisians worked together beneath the twilight sky. They built conduits of living crystal that resonated with the Luminara without cutting it. They mapped the energy as song rather than fuel, and when they sent the first resonance wave out into the stars, it did not drain the planet. It echoed, growing, multiplying, teaching other worlds how to plant life that could sing its own energy into existence. Years passed. Kalen remained guardian, though now he watched over not just a world, but a promise. Visitors still came, but they walked softly, speaking in hushed voices, marveling at the lavender sky and the drifting spores. They touched the ground with reverence, and the Luminara still glowed. On quiet evenings, Kalen stood beneath its enormous crown, letting the twilight light spill across his skin. The world breathed with him. The sky shimmered with nebular clouds that flowed like rivers of stardust. "I am here," he would whisper. Warmth always answered. The universe was no longer built only on taking. Not everywhere. Not anymore. And Kalen, the gentle blue alien with the luminous eyes, kept watch with patient devotion, not as a warrior, but as one who understood that the rarest power in the universe was never force. It was the choice to protect. And because he chose it, his world continued to glow.